Good evening, Mistwalkers. Yes, I thought after drab Cartacus perhaps I needed a small change of scenery. I'm so dreadfully excited to have you with us. Things were getting a bit dull, and you always seem to spice our stories up. Oh. Yes. The same story. With the same heroes. Where were we? Yes, I remember the whirlwind being plucked outside of Daglin, cast down into the murky waves, cold water above our heads, cold sand beneath our feet, rocky cliffs and a manor with a strange child who wanted to play perhaps the deadliest game of hide and seek. Vasily's perfect son, Nicodemus, welcomes them aboard the Endurance. What an interesting ship. We visited a dreamscape. Maybe learned a little bit about other people's feelings. I hope that comes in handy. Now, we're adrift on the sea of sorrows, cast out to who knows where. What sort of surprises do you think are in store for them in Lamordia? I bet it'll be the most fun I've had in weeks.
Hello, Mistwalkers. Welcome back. We missed you.
Missed you.
Nah.
Boo. Okay, I guess the show's over. Bye, everybody.
Rip. Canceled.
That was quick.
Good evening, Mistwalkers. Yay! Welcome back to Season 2, or welcome for the first time to Season 2. I don't know. I've had a lot of tea and a lot of caffeine. We're doing Tales from the Mists, a spooky campaign set in the domains of dread. With me tonight are 6 adventurers. 6, I counted. Why don't we introduce ourselves? We'll start with Lisa.
My name is Lisa Penrose, and I play your heart of the party, Mercy Albrecht, the Tiefling Storm Sorceress.
Kayla.
My name is Kayla Klein, and I play your sweet baby wizard Vasily, who has never done anything wrong in her life.
Those are lies. The lies have begun.
Dark Powers check.
No.
Ashley.
Hi, I'm Ashley Warren, and I play Konstantina Avshalomov, the bard from Barovia.
Hadil.
I play a warlock named Vargas who knows absolutely that Vasily has lied a lot, and done a lot of wrong things. She's done so many wrong things.
Unlike Vargas.
Yeah,
unlike
an angel. An angel on this earth.
I did not know my actions had consequences.
Okay. I have used that excuse enough times to know that it doesn't work, but I will allow you to
Learned it from watching you.
We learned it from watching you, Dad. Let's start with our first guest, Jen.
Hi, my name is Jen Vaughn, and I'll be playing Opal Fan, a half-elk cleric who's just that, nothing else.
Oh, okay. She seems trustworthy.
She's probably
Sure.
fine. And Jason?
Hi, I'm Jason Carl, and I'll be playing Enon, a halfling monk. Very short.
Well, this is not a typical campaign, and we have a rotating cast. 4 of our anchor members and 2 rotating members. That means in 4 episodes, Jen and Jason will live happily ever after in some other story in the mists, according to my record when it comes to endangering guests.
We'll be friends and pen pals, and we'll keep in touch forever.
Besties
Everyone will
forever.
be alive.
Yep.
Jason and I are ready to skip off into the sunset already, so.
Honestly, like, the track record that I have makes it more likely than not, even though I laugh. So, our showrunner has our announcements for this week.
Yeah, so we're starting off this season with some awesome giveaways. So we have 4 giveaways, and you can enter them by typing !Mists is back. And 3 folks will get swag packages with these cool postcards that Kayla illustrated. They're really
Yay!
cool. This Mercy pin with red lightning. Very, very Mercy. Some Matchbook Menagerie matches that we made. I think they're backwards. That's fine. And a cool Tales from the Mist D6. And I think those were the things. And then just for the premiere, because we snuck them out of D&D Live, there are these Baldur's Gate dice bags that have D&D dice inside. So those are fun swag packages if you enter. And then one person gets this armory. I can't pick up the whole thing because it's a lot, but it has like a dice tower from Master Monk Gaming and a dice box. Yeah, I'll just hold up all the things. And also a dice tray. So super fun. Enter. Tell your friends to watch live. Please. Please.
Was that dice tower used at D&D Live?
It was. This one is made from walnut and ash wood, which I believe touched the hands of Vargas Blackstone. Or the gloves. The gloves of Vargas Blackstone.
The gloved hands.
Yeah.
It's by proxy touch.
Yeah, if
Ooh.
you want to smell the gloves, that's $50. You can pay me. I need money.
PayPal or Venmo accepted.
We will send you a Polaroid of the gloves. There's scratch and sniff.
Yes, you can also wrap the money around a brick and throw it through my window.
You're not going to leave it? Never mind.
Yeah, it's fine. I already got my deposit back. I don't care.
Next, Vargas is going to start selling bath water.
I mean,
Why not?
let me just make a note.
Thirsty girl.
Thirsty. What? You're so gross. What else is gross? Seasickness, which is unfortunately something that Mercy has had an issue with, being one of the only members on the ship with hooves. And by one of the only, I mean specifically the only one. It's been difficult for you to get your balance for the last few weeks that you've been on this ship, and it especially was difficult for you to get enough sleep, which is why you slept through a dreamscape journey that your companions went on. Now, Constantina, while Mercy was laid up in the infirmary, you were approached by Nicodemus, Vasily's son, and he asked you whether or not you would like to sign as an employee, as a crew member for the Endurance, or whether you were a passenger. Unlike your 3 companions, you signed up as a crew member.
Yes, I asked to be put to work. I wanted to be productive.
Now, the bosun is the person who is, or the bosun is the person who is typically in charge of assigning work to new crew members. How did you approach Constantina on her first day on the job, Enid?
With some suspicion. I mean, I don't know. I think that straightforward and direct approach is always best.
What did Constantina see when you approached her?
What she sees is a halfling, old, aged, in the autumn of life. Small, of course, like all halflings, but his movements still suggest not all nimbleness has left the frame for now. Over the left eye, an eye patch. Thinning hair, going gray, patchy beard. Nose has been broken at least once. A few teeth missing, and tattoos, dozens of tattoos, ghosts, creatures, monsters, all over.
Okay. How do you put her to work?
Well, I think it's first best to ask if she's ever sailed before.
I have not. I've traveled quite extensively, but I've never sailed before. But I'm a quick learner.
First time aboard ship. How are you at climbing things?
Well, I'm willing to find out.
Up. See that up there? Way at the top of the main mast? That's the crow's nest. Up there, keep a sharp eye out. Ships, monsters, flotsam, anything that might be a problem. You see it, you call out. Can you do it?
Absolutely. And maybe later, I could play some music for the crew. I feel like every ship needs, some entertainment.
You play? You're a musician?
I am.
All right. Let's see what you do better. Music or crow's nest?
I'll tell you now that it's probably music, but I'm always willing to learn a new skill. So I would like to go try to climb up to the crow's nest.
All right. Let's go ahead and I will let you choose between either acrobatics or athletics. Paint me a story depending on which one you use. A word picture, if you will.
Well, they're both the same for me, so I'll try athletics because I feel like I do a lot of walking in my life, so I'm probably, I probably have decent stamina. Okay, so I am going to, is there any sort of ladder rung on the side of the pole, I guess, leading up to the crow's nest, or is it just a pillar?
Enid.
There's a lattice work of ropes, rigging, connecting the mast to the rest of the ship. And high aloft, where the winds are blowing, you can see almost a catwalk of ropes. So there's plenty to hold on to on your way up.
In that case, I would like for you to give me 3 consecutive rolls. Paint me a picture. Unless you critically fail, you will get up there, but your rolls will determine how quickly, how fluidly, and how impressively you do. And I would like for Enan to set the DC for those. Specifically, the impressive one.
The impressive one. Let me have a quick look here at the sheet.
I love this.
I might love this. We'll see how it goes.
We'll see.
Same for me.
I'm not going to make you break your neck in the first 15 minutes of season 2.
Vasily, stop sighing. Let me at least try, okay? All right. What's my aspirational DC?
That's a hard task, but it's not very hard. So let's.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, everyone.
Let's send it 15.
Oh, sorry. I think everyone froze on my computer.
Uh-oh.
What was that?
I think everyone froze on my computer for a second, but I think we're back.
Okay.
I think we're good. I just couldn't hear Jason.
Okay.
Do you mind
Maybe
repeating
it
what
was
you
just Jason.
Oh, sure. It's a medium difficulty.
Okay.
15.
Okay.
So let's say medium for speed. Let's beat a 15 for speed.
All right. By the way, I got a pretty new Constantina dice at Gen Con.
Ooh.
I haven't used it yet, so blowing on it for good luck. Let's see.
Let's see how it does.
Well, not a great start.
Rip.
7.
Okay. Let's say that it takes you twice as long to get up there.
Okay. And then 2 more rolls.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Would you like to do athletics or acrobatics in order to get up there fluidly, essentially without tripping up?
I'll try acrobatics for my...
Okay. So just not getting tangled.
Yeah. Trying to do this with some level of grace that I don't normally possess. Oh, okay. That is exactly 15. I rolled a 14 plus 1.
Okay. So what probably happened is that it's just upper arm strength. Like maybe you have very dexterous fingers and you have great hand-eye coordination, but the mainmast is much taller than you thought it was. And anybody pulling their own body weight for that long without being used to it, it's going to slow them down. Let's do impressive.
Wow, Vasily, look at Constantina. She is climbing. She's so dexterous.
I'm gonna wave to whoever is on the deck. But this is not a very good roll. So this is an 8. So I'm gonna think that my wave. I was getting a little too cocky, and so yeah. Now then I rolled an 8, and the last part is probably not very graceful.
Enan, what do you think of that?
I hope she plays music better than she climbs.
She doesn't.
She is a very good climber. You're right, Vasily.
I do have very dexterous fingers. Thank you very much. So, okay, so I'm up. Am I up on the crow's nest now?
Yes.
I just wanted to confirm that I am good at things. Okay, very excited that would be even in question.
How up to it, but you're hanging from the side. You still haven't gotten in.
Yeah, you're like a foot up.
Maybe
like,
that's what like the half of it was. Is you're just gassed by the time you get up there and you're just trying to get.
I can see that Vasily is speaking ill of me down below. I'm like, I'm very good at this. Okay. How high up?
Long voyage.
Am I within 120 feet of Anon?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so that I'm like, how high did I climb? I would like to cast message.
Okay.
Anon from above. And I'm like, hello, just seeing if you can hear me. And you're hearing this like in your head, and I'm waving. You can reply.
Oh, you can hear me?
I mean, I saw you waving.
What do you see up there? You're supposed to be keeping lookout, not talking to me.
I was just trying to establish a form of communication, okay? I'm going to look very intently over the ocean.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead and roll me? Would you like to specifically look for something in particular? He did name a couple of things that you could keep your eye out for, or would you just like to cast your gaze over the horizon and see what you see?
I kind of forgot what he told me to look for, so I will just look over the ocean and pretend like I remembered.
Absolutely. Go ahead and give me a perception roll. And while you are doing that, we'll talk to Mercy. Now, Mercy, there has been somebody who's been taking care of you in your time of need, getting over seasickness. That isn't part of your group.
Oh.
Opal, when was the first time you tended to Mercy for her seasickness?
The first time Opal tended Mercy was about as soon as they pulled up the gangplank on the ship and hadn't actually started moving. She fainted right
I
into
don't
Opal.
feel very good.
It's okay, I'm here. You hear a husky voice in your ear.
Oh, Oh, I feel better now.
And when she regains her senses, what does she see, Opal?
If Mercy looks around, she's inside of the infirmary / because it's trying to conserve some space, Opal's surgery theater as well. So there's,
Theater?
and then there's the horn. And a theater, yeah. So people can enjoy is not the right word, but watch, learn from whatever Opal is doing on the surgery table. You're on a very clean bed. There's scented pillows, just light lavender. But you do see a series of cabinets marked with words, gauze, tools, more gauze, blood. And you see Opal, sort of a like 5'5", sort of ageless / 30-year-old, half elk with dark hair, half moon crescent glasses. She's wearing knee-high red leather boots, but then white leather pants with a white leather apron that she's pulling off. It's covered with blood. And you see her wearing a diaphanous kind of see-through chemise under that. And, oh, you're up. My name is Opal, and I've been attending to you. What was your name again?
Oh, my name is Mercy.
Mercy. Do you go by Mercy?
Yes.
That's such a interesting concept and name. So,
Thank you.
Is there anything I can get for you? Some water or some food?
Yes, some water, I think, and maybe something to eat. And would you join me, maybe? Right here on this very clean surgical theater.
I am okay, but I will absolutely grab you some food. So.
Oh, you are so thoughtful.
It is. It's my duty to take care of everyone on the ship.
Oh, everybody. Okay.
Yep. But especially people with such interesting names like Mercy.
Oh, you think I'm interesting?
So Opal's gonna go and collect some. Actually, she turns back around. I'm sorry. Do you have any sort of food allergies or anything? I don't want to trigger anything.
Oh, such a thoughtful question. No allergies. I like my food not to be touching my other food. So if you have one of those trays with the different parts, if you could sort it by color, and maybe size of the particle or the chunk, I would, and she just like stares at you, and like her eyes go all googly, and her voice kind of trails off.
All right, so Opal's gone for probably a little bit, or should I ask the DM what sort of food I find?
I am entranced. I am in love with Opal. I can't possibly kill you now. No, for Enon and Opal, this is your ship. This is your home. You know what you would find.
All right.
I'm not going to micromanage your life.
No, thank you. Opal is actually pulling out something from a box that might have been her lunch, but she can always get more if she needs it. Meanwhile, Mercy can just see her back, and she's sort of like putting things in different trays. They appear to be kidney shaped trays, like maybe ones people use to urinate in when they're in a hospital bed, hotel bed. Telling too much about my life. And she brings it back, and it's just sort of some various greens, because they did just leave the dock, so that there's enough. There's still some fresh stuff, and then you see other small little, like possibly fish jerky, in order of chunk size, so small to large.
She remembered. When Opal turned around and had her back to Mercy, Mercy was like practicing different, like, oh, I feel so sick, like mouthing it to herself. And I'd like to think this whole time Mercy has been pretending to be seasick so that she could spend more time in the infirmary with Opal.
I would 100% accept that as canon fact.
And she's like, oh, you remembered. And she like switches two chunks that are like not in the right order.
Opal says, thank you. I do always prefer to have someone to assist me in my surgeries. So, has Mercy looked around behind her at the other operating table?
There's another one. I feel like I might have looked around, or maybe I super haven't. But Lisa would like to know what's on it.
Is it out in the open?
It's out in the open, yes.
Then, yeah, if you looked around, you probably saw it.
So there is a body laying on the table, mostly covered with a cloth, but you do see a metal sort of pipette coming out of it, a trocar. That's looks like it's in the abdomen. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't think you were going to wake up so soon. I was trying to discover the cause of this unfortunate death. So.
Oh, you must be very smart.
No, probably not. But practice makes perfect. So.
Do you also, when something is dead, draw ritual circles around it and offer the spark of life to death?
I do have my own type of ritual, yes.
Oh, we have so much in common. I mean, I don't feel so good. I think, is there a place to stay in the infirmary? I think maybe I just need to stay here. Oh, I don't think I could eat this food. Oh, my stomach.
Opal moves the food away, and absolutely, you may stay here for another hour or two, but should someone come with missing a limb or bleeding, I may ask you to go back to your quarters.
Oh, I don't mind bleeding.
Well, now we have a lot in common.
Oh, and then Mercy actually faints.
Oh my gosh, I'm so invested in this budding romance. Mostly. Do you know who's been invested in you lately?
I have an idea. Is it Nicodemus?
It is Nicodemus, who has been following you around.
Love it. Oh my God.
Now you remember what Nicodemus looks like. Could you describe him for people listening in on either the podcast or people who have just tuned in just now and didn't get to hear about him in the descent?
Okay. Nicodemus is extremely tall and extremely bird-like. He has a very bird-like face, but he's still human. And he has a ruffle of black feathers around his neck, and his legs are kind of bent like a bird's. I believe was he over 7 foot tall? He was really tall.
I will leave that up to you. He is your
I'm gonna say he's over 7 foot tall, and he's super gangly, but kind of handsome in a weird way, but also the worst and kind of annoying.
And whenever he sees you, he always seems to be wearing what could have been his best suit, but most certainly is not now.
No, he
tries. It's got rough patches at the elbows and these slubby shoulders. You can see where it's a little rough sewn in some patches. And he follows you around. He's, Mother.
I feel like after a certain point, she's just flat out ignoring him. So just walking, looking at the sky, looking at the water, looking for Mercy. Where did she go? Who knows? Haven't seen her in a little bit. It's kind of weird.
How do you spend your time on the ship?
Probably trying to keep an eye on Mercy. And keeping an eye on Constantina to make sure she's not near Mercy.
Opal, is Vasily permitted in the infirmary?
Oh, Vasily is of course permitted, but Opal would ask her what she needs first. Vasily?
Oh, so I guess I enter the infirmary and I look around looking for Mercy. I see Opal standing there and just ask, I'm looking for a pale tiefling. Is she in here?
Opal just sort of steps to the side and gestures with one red glove.
And she's passed out at this point, I assume. Oh God. And Vasily rushes over to check her pulse and check on her.
Opal's gonna be watching Vasily and her methods.
Vasily reaches into her waist pouch and pulls out a little vial and uncorks it and waves it under Mercy's nose.
Oh, Opal, hello, Vasily.
Who is Opal? I guess I don't know yet.
Cece's Opal. I was feeling very unwell, and she is nursing me back to health. She's very good.
Why didn't you just come see me?
I fainted. But I'm fine, but not too fine. I have to stay in the infirmary, I think. I'm not feeling well, but I'm okay, Vasily. Mercy winks several times, like really obviously.
Vasily's eyes narrow, very like, And she just looks at Mercy and looks at Opal and looks at Mercy and looks at Opal, and she just kind of clears her throat and she's just like, I think I can take care of Mercy.
Absolutely. And Opal offers a hand to shake. Opal fan.
Vasily reluctantly shakes her hand very loosely and only like the tips of her fingers.
Opal looks a little like, okay. It's always good to meet another healer.
I wouldn't call myself a healer. I'm a scientist, but sure.
No. One who studies can heal and harm. So, very good to meet you, Vasily.
And Vasily kind of looks around and sees the body with the tube coming out of it, and she's actually really interested in that. And she's like, what do you do here other than basic first aid?
Opal lets that one slide because they just met, and walks over. Mercy, I need you to turn around so you don't see this.
Oh, okay, if you say so. Mercy has just been looking between Vasily and Opal and just like really excited that her friends are getting along. And she just turns around. She's like kicking her hooves over the side of the table.
Opal pulls back the sheet and shows a half naked from the waist up dwarf who has gangrene starting at the fingertips already, and there's a little middle shunt coming out of their abdomen, and Opal leans over. Don't want to describe it too much. I don't know. And you hear a and then through the metal tube, and she spits out what looks like it's a stone. She shows Vasily. She pulled out a stone with a hole in the center from their stomach. Maybe this was the cause.
And Vasily kind of puts on her gloves and holds out her hand like, may I?
Absolutely. Passes.
And she takes it and she wants to do an Arcana check or something on it to see if she can figure out what it is.
Would you like to do an Arcana or a medicine check?
It's a good question. I mean, I'd prefer Arcana, but if medicine would apply better here, I'm fine with doing that.
They're both up to you.
Okay.
But I will let Opal set the difficulty.
I'm gonna say 14.
Okay, I'm gonna do Arcana.
Because we're going in with the assumption that Opal knows exactly what this is.
I'm using my riot dice. Ooh, 18 plus 5. So, yeah, I meant that.
All right, so Opal like nods and says, "Yes, so you do know what it is." And she describes a slow-acting curse that was put inside the stone, made from ice. So as it hit the digestion system, it melted. Does that sound like something anyone from your party can do?
It doesn't. But is this something that you would permit me to keep so I can study later?
Absolutely. I just need a quick sketch first. And Opal pulls out a notebook, even though it's like a perfectly normal looking round rock with a round hole in it. It's kind of quickly, it's just like, all right, thank you.
And Bosley pulls out a larger glass bottle and like plunks it in there and then puts that on her belt. And you can see, and like Opal could probably see really quickly that there's like vials of things. Like she has a vial of like really weird looking crimson feathers and black ooze and different things kind of attached to her belt.
Nice. Well, when Opal pushes aside part of her diaphanous chemise, Vasily can see that on her belt, she's got 7 different colored pairs of gloves, all leather, for different surgeries and different activities.
Oh my God. I feel like Vasily sees this and her cheeks turn a very slightly darker shade of like orange. But only for a moment and very quickly.
This whole party's got to roll charisma saving throws to keep them falling in love. Vargas. How have you spent this time on the ship? Have you been in the infirmary or?
Oh, absolutely not.
Dare I say at work?
No. I'm sorry. That's not realistic. I have avoided all manner of work for any given time. Anytime somebody has asked me for help, I'm like, I'm sorry, I have to go. And then I disappear.
I left an excuse over here.
Yeah, I'm sorry, my excuses are there. I left my flat iron on, so I have to go home. But yes, I have absolutely refused to work. I am not going to do that. And the infirmary is where sick people are, and that is gross. So.
That you're gross. Sorry.
You're gross.
You're gross.
So what have you been doing?
Probably going through Constantina's stuff when she's not there. Probably like moving things around to like gently gaslight her to make her feel like she's a little crazy. I have also been keeping an eye on Mercy. I know that she has been unwell, but again, sick people. There are people equipped to deal with the infirm. Also holding that book hostage from one of Vasily's many abominations that I found. I think it has all of like her secrets. Anytime Vasily like wants to say something, I like pull it out of my pocket and then just like tap it in there. So just bullying my entire party except for Mercy.
So when you walk about the top deck, because surely you went out there at least once?
At least once, yes. To kind of like see where we are. I don't know much about boating. I know that I don't like boats.
What was your impression of Enon as he put Constantina through her paces?
Awesome. better her than me. I mean, I feel that, like, it's not that Eden doesn't like Constantina, it's that he doesn't like people who aren't willing to work.
Is that the case, Ina?
Anybody that good looking can't be trusted.
I'm good looking. I'm so good looking. My hands are so soft.
What do you think of Vargas?
Vargas sees more than Vargas lets on. I think that Vargas's excuses for not working are a ruse to let Vargas take the measure of everyone on the boat. And I think it would be very interesting to have a conversation with Vargas, find out what Vargas thinks about the rest of us, the crew, the sea dogs, and everybody else around here. So I think I'll do that.
Absolutely. Vargas, what are you doing when Enon does approach you?
Watching all of these people, because I mean, I've probably not been around like the working class in a while, at least. Like, Vargas's whole thing is like being a hanger-on for fancy rich people. Probably has not been around the working class in a long time. I will say that there's probably a part of Vargas that's a little bit jealous of being able to like just be someone and not have to have like a front up. But he's definitely like taking stock of the people on the boat, and he's taking stock of like how do they interact with the party.
Nina?
I'll approach, nod, get your attention. I'm Menon. I'm the bosun here. I noticed that when Ralphio, the second mate, asked for your help, you had someplace else to be. And when Koresh, the master gunner, wanted some help polishing the hardware, you had someplace else to be. And when Thorvid the carpenter asked you to hold some wood for sawing, you had someplace else to be. I couldn't help but notice this. Now that you've had a chance to leisurely take a look around, I'd like to know what you think.
I will extend my hand to shake Enon's hand, and not in like because he's a halfling, so you'd be quite short. Not in like a condescending way, but I will like genuinely shake his hand, and I will say,
I'll return the handshake.
It's like a good, probably like a very firm handshake. And
city hand, soft hand.
Very soft hand. I will like kind of like smile a little bit and say like, I think something. You said it was Anan, right? Anan?
It's Enan.
Enan, okay.
Yeah, I've been the one pronouncing it incorrectly.
You know.
And also things like roughly. So I will pronounce his name correctly, Enan. And I'll like take another look around the deck and be like, so something you and I have in common, if you're asking what I think, is that you and I notice things, and I'm sure you've noticed about me. I'm not really the type that does manual labor. That's not a slight, of course. Would you really want me cutting any wood?
No, I think I'd like you to stay as far away from the carpentry as possible.
You're probably right there. I have to say, there's a part of me that's... I don't know how to describe it. Maybe there's a bit of longing. I wonder what it would be like to just be who you say you are.
Is that what you think? You think that we're who we say we are?
Well, I imagine if you're on a vessel like this, I've never traveled this way before, that's for certain. I imagine a vessel like this, a ruse only goes so far.
Well, you very quickly run out of ship to hide on, no matter which direction you walk in.
I have found that myself.
Point to the crow's nest where Constantina is. Is she keeping lookout?
I will say one thing about Constantina is, if you tell her to do something, she'll do it, and I don't know if it's because she's really helpful or she's just really gullible.
Friend of yours?
Sure.
Funny way to talk about a friend.
Well, I mean, I think that honesty is a form of kindness. She's not the worst friend I've had, that's for sure. I've had much worse friends. I can only speak for myself, of course, but have you ever truly met somebody that wants to help out that badly with asking nothing in return?
My experience has been that everybody does want something, but the surprising thing isn't that everybody has a price. The surprising thing is how abysmally low that price usually is.
I have noticed that too. It's a funny thing. Perhaps we've just met too many people who don't know their worth, but the thing about Constantina is I've been traveling with her for a spell or two, and I still don't really know her price. I don't know if it's low, I don't know if it's high.
You came aboard with several other travelers. Are they also friends?
Yes, we'll say they're friends. In a way that I am interested in our continued companionship throughout this journey.
Travelers of convenience, then.
You could say that.
I did say that.
Yes, it did. I like you.
Let's not get carried away.
Fair enough. But yes, I did come with several other travelers.
So, what about the creepy bird thing? That one of yours too?
Actually, no, surprisingly, and I really don't want him to be, if I'm honest. That one somehow belongs to Vasily, the one that looks like well, she looks unpleasant. Can be pleasant, I think, but she's her ways of dealing with the world are very new to me, and I still don't know if I like them or not.
Fair enough. What about your sick friend? The one in the infirmary?
Yes, she's also a unique one for sure. I've never met anyone quite like Mercy before.
Mercy?
Mercy. Never met anybody quite like her. And I've met many tieflings before, and perhaps I've met the wrong kind, but none quite like her. But I am more interested in our friendship than the rest of them, if I can be honest, and I feel I can be, mostly because there's nowhere else for me to go. I'm surrounded by water, and that is awful.
You noticed that, did you?
I did.
Vargas, you feel a sharp chill in your pocket that sends electricity up your spine.
Yes. Is it Claudia?
Claudia is not here right now.
Okay.
It's someone else. Would you like to take the call?
Yes, I will be polite and excuse myself. I'll give my new friend a bow and be like, as I'm sure you can observe, I have somewhere else to be, but I would like to talk to you again, my friend.
And then,
well, I'm easy to find.
And then would you like to roll me an insight check?
Would I? I don't know.
Yes, chaotic taco, feel it.
Maybe.
I can't allow you to have friends, Vargas.
I know, I should.
I thought we were friends.
No, you are.
This conversation was going too well.
I feel like you're like my employee or something.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
My check is a 13. I've got one eye on the crow's nest and another on the exiting excuser here, and if I had another eye, it would be on the rest of the boat.
Vargas seems a little uncomfortable, but maybe making another.
I'll let it go.
Vargas, where do you go?
Plenty of time to catch up later.
I will go back below deck, but not to my room. During my skulking about, I'm sure I have found like some places that are less inhabited by others because they're like too dark and there's no lamplight they can reach, but I have dark vision, or they just don't. They have like a dank smell, which I'm sure Vargas, being drow, is used to, like the smell of like waterlogged, like decay. So it probably wouldn't bother him as much.
I will say that since you came aboard this ship, Claudia has been lethargic. Very rarely follows you around with the same fervor that she did when you were on dry land.
I will look into that later, but I will answer my call first.
What do you pull from your pocket?
Is this, if I'm remembering correctly?
You can describe it however you wish.
So it was a tie tack at one point that is shaped like, what's the word I'm looking for? Not maybe insignia or crest, but it's like a holy symbol of Loth. So it's like a spider web with the spider in the middle.
Okay. And when you answer, you say,
not gonna make a joke like this is Pizza Hut. I will say, I forget how to pronounce his name as well, but I have to say I didn't expect a call so soon.
Vargas, my boy, you haven't been checking in.
Well, I don't want to arouse suspicion. There are people watching everywhere, regardless of how closely I watch. Can never be alone on this ship.
Have you got any news for me?
A bit. It's easy to keep an eye on the tiefling. It's easy to keep an eye on Mercy. She's very easily charmed, which I find charming in turn. But so far I've been able to keep her from being blown up by cannon fire and various other exciting activities. But I still can't get a read on the Vistana. I still don't know who she is.
Well, I suggest you find out. We don't have as much time as I originally planned.
Isn't that the way?
This is not just for my sake, son.
I know. Do you have any news from me? Anything I should know?
We'll have a contact meeting you soon. I hope you enjoy swimming.
I don't, but thank you.
And the call cuts off.
Oh boy. Lose my number. Put my heirloom back in my pocket. And I don't know, like for flavor text, can it be like anytime I use this, I take like my non-drow form?
Absolutely. 100%.
Okay.
I will allow that.
All right. So anytime I use this, I turn into what appears to be a normal half-elf.
Okay. Do you take your former Vargas form, or do you take one of your other aliases?
I'll say that Vargas is very lazy about it, and he'll take his former Vargas form, the one that he's been using the most.
Okay.
You don't have to think about it too hard.
Okay.
So
We'll get to those other aliases next time then.
What other?
Constantine. Hannah, you rolled me a perception check.
Yes, and I rolled a 13.
I don't know if that's high enough to see a dragon. I wouldn't do that.
Okay, stop.
Sorry, what?
No, that is high enough to see the silk banners on this horizon. As you begin to approach, the ship begins to approach. You can see peppered across the waves, brightly colored skiffs and canoes.
I will cast message on the bosun, my new friend. And do you have any like superstitions when you're on your boat? I know that like different ships, different places have like, superstitions where you like throw some salt over your shoulder, or you like do rituals to make sure that you don't like, have any problems while you're out at sea. Do you have any of those?
Yeah, maybe a few. Why do you ask?
Oh, I was just curious. Also, there's some boats in the distance and they have really colorful banners.
Colorful banners. What color?
They're like jewel tone colors. Yeah, you said like vibrant.
Yes, very vibrant, very jewel toned colors. Now, Enon, you would know by the description that she's giving you of these jewel toned banners and just the general direction that you are very near the Lutea Bazaar. And it is at that moment that you can feel a sort of a pecking motion on the meat of your shoulder. And when you look to the side, you look to the source. It's the incredibly skinny, gangly fingers of Nicodemus, who your captain, who is rarely seen on the ship, has taken in as sort of a not quite first mate, not quite second mate, but essentially his proxy on land. And Nicodemus will... Enon.
What?
Father says that we can go to the bazaar.
Oh, he does he?
He does. We can go to the bazaar. We have some passengers that we need to pick up, which of course we will. But we can also get candy.
Very well.
I'll tell Mother.
I will see to it. I will see to it. It's time to tell Brummett and Ralphio and Koresh and get this thing hove to and set a new course for the bazaar. Terrific.
Absolutely. So
Can hardly wait.
It takes perhaps half a day to actually get into the thick of boats as they approach this bazaar. Now, Opal and Enon, both of you have been on the seas long enough to know what the Lutea Bazaar is, which is a Vistani-run flotilla market. It is a floating market of multiple ships, skiffs, boats that have been put together with gangplanks and ropes and turned into a market that can just be broken up and spread to the four winds at any moment. But for now, with paper lanterns in the sunset and these silk slippered sailors just scurrying to and fro, and all of these baskets of flowers and fresh fruits, these trilling songs that are floating gently on the breeze.
Ooh.
Oh.
I think we lost someone in the
Oh,
overlay.
Kayla.
Kayla.
It was too much color for her. She was like,
Vasily's like, no.
I can't go to another Vistani city.
And she was like vacation time.
All
Can
right.
I
Can't
climb down?
Mm-hmm.
May I climb
Yeah.
down from the crow's nest? I messaged Anon. Hi.
Yeah, your watch is done. Come on down.
Oh, okay,
You
good.
did.
Thanks.
Be careful.
I am going to. I don't know what I'm seeing yet. I don't think I know yet that it's like a cool Vistani place. But I'm intrigued by whatever I saw up there. So I'm going to try to scurry down quickly, but somewhat safely. Do I need to roll on my way down?
No, I'm not gonna.
Okay.
We'll assume that it went at least slightly better than
Okay.
you came back in.
That's fair. I'm a pro now.
Okay. Kayla, are you coming back?
Yeah.
Oh, her internet dropped.
Oh no. Okay. I'll
let's-
try to. I can fix the overlays a couple times. It's fine.
Somebody in the chat said Vasily was like, Father, heck no.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Okay, she says she's working to get it back up, but
Right.
we can just fill her in when she gets back. Are you all okay with that?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to fix the windows. I'm sorry if everything's all like
We could just lean.
messed up.
All right. No, I won't make you roll to get down. So it took about
I'm the boat boy now.
6 hours maybe for the ship that you are on to become surrounded by these other skiffs, and the sun is sinking in the horizon, and it is painting the sky and the water just a beautiful crimson red. Splashes of orange and fire across those waves.
I would like to pull out my journal and write down basically what you just said so eloquently in my journal, because it looked very, very picturesque. Oh, and I would like to ask Enon, where are we? I'm very excited about whatever we are approaching. Can you tell me anything about it?
It's a floating market. It's basically a den of thieves on the waves. Vistani, seagoing Vistani. If it can be bought or sold, it's here.
Well,
you that seems like good news to you.
oh, it's always good news to meet other Vistana. I don't think I really know much about these Vistani. I've never really met one who lived like on the ocean. But I'm always glad to meet, I feel like we're all part of the same family, but we're all very different. So this will be exciting. Have you been here before?
Many times. Your watch is over. You're at liberty. So if you want to help yourself, just keep an eye out on just keep an eye out.
I always do. And maybe later when we're back on the ship, I can play some music for you.
I think that would please the crew.
Oh, good. I'm so
So-
glad to hear it.
Consider that a yes.
This is the best day I've had in a really long time. Thank you very much.
Really?
Sure, I get to play music, and I get to meet other Vistana, and I get to maybe go shopping, and maybe buy something pretty, and I'm with my friends, and we're not in immediate danger. So, what could be better?
Well, not yet, but I see your point. That's a wise outlook. It's important to appreciate the moment of the now.
That's really nice. People don't usually reply to things that I say so nicely, so thank you.
You're the clearest thinker I've met on board so far today.
Wow. Constantine is having a moment. This is dreamy.
These guests are making the party feel too good about themselves.
I know. Right?
Getting into this.
Uh-oh.
So Brummett returns to you whenever, and then you let him know that you are approaching the Lutea Bazaar. He essentially confirms what Nicodemus tells you. Brummett is young for this position of first mate. Barely early 30s, very handsome, gold hair, tan skin, little hint of curl at the temples. And he says to you, perhaps time for a little song and drink aboard, don't you think?
Fine.
And he begins to arrange a party to go aboard the flotilla. Who would like to go to the market besides Constantina.
I'm already going toward it.
Apparently, we're just throwing people over the boat.
Yeah, we lost a deal too.
No.
I was gonna say Opal will turn to Mercy and I'm just gonna say Vasili's gonna go with us. And Mercy, we are approaching. If I recall our plans, it's just very fun, and I really do need some more powdered silver. So, would you like to go shopping?
You're asking me to go do something with you, something fun. I mean, it's very soon, but yes, I would like to.
Excellent. Well, I am not going to leave you alone with this body. So yes, let's.
Oh, you won't leave me. Oh, you're so thoughtful.
Yes, and Opal turns to Vasily, who looked like she's been checked out for a bit, and would you like to go to the Vistani market with us?
Well, Vasily was just like staring off into the distance. What? With you? With you and Mercy?
I need everyone to leave this room, so I was trying to be polite, but maybe there's just no time for that.
Fine. Okay, fine.
All right, you don't have to walk with us. I just meant let us go. Maybe there's something you need. A scientist is always in need of more beakers and all sorts of glassware, wouldn't you say?
You're not wrong. She just begrudgingly follows.
Yeah, and Opal does turn to Mercy and holds up a vial of smelling salts. This is my personal blend, and hands it to her.
Oh, it's personal. A personal gift. Oh, thank you.
Just we don't want you falling, faint on a strange ship.
Oh, Opal doesn't want me to fall. Do you hear that, Vasily? I think she likes me.
Vasily kind of like shoves her own little vial back in her pocket that she was going to give to Mercy, and she's like, "Oh well, fine, great."
It's a vial off.
Is anybody else going to the market?
Not if I can help it.
Fair. Vargas?
Sorry, I have to
It's fine.
You're
You're
fine.
fine.
Compressor. I don't have any power. Yeah, I want to go to the market. I want candy. Me, Hadil wants candy now that Nick has said something. But also, yes, I would like to. I want to see how the crew behaves off the ship.
Okay. Now, Brumit, the first mate, leads the party aboard the ship, aboard the flotilla, the floating market. And we'll say it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of you going to the marketplace, which is teeming with life, just absolutely filled with, first of all, the smell of humanity, but also these fresh flowers, the fruits, the songs, the laughter. It's like a festival on the water.
So are we all together?
That's up to you. Now, the crew quickly becomes distracted with their own purchases and their own
proclivities.
Yeah, I was going to say excursions, but proclivity sounds much more like a professional writer said it.
Can Mercy I just take Opal's hand and be holding it?
Opal looks down and says, "It's okay. You'll have good balance here," and just sort of draws her own hand back. And I need this one for holding money.
Okay. And Mercy turns bright pink. She's now pink tiefling, and goes and stands behind Vasily, like hiding.
Vasily,
Do I see
first.
this? Do I see this denial?
Opal, are you subtle about it or matter of fact?
Matter of fact, but more that she's now switched from her red gloves to her gold gloves. So these are the ones for holding money and not for holding hands. But
I see.
I don't think Mercy knows that, and she, isn't going to explain herself yet. Maybe ever.
Do
She can't.
you think anyone saw that, Vasily?
Vargas, you saw, and you are free to interpret as you wish.
Did you see that, Vardgeese?
This is rough, buddy.
See what?
I don't know. Your face is doing a scrunch, and I think did you see? I tried to hold Opal's hand. I thought that maybe she liked me. She made me food on a very nice tray, and put all the foods in order. And she didn't want me to see blood and limbs, which is very, very nice. I mean, I'm fine with blood and limbs, but it's thoughts that
Of
count.
course, you can hold me
But
flattered.
then I tried to hold her hand, and she said no. She took her hand away.
Oh, well, that is. I don't know why anyone would not want to hold your hand at all times. As a matter of fact, I feel compelled to hold your hand right now, and I will offer my hand.
That's very nice, Vardgeese. I will hold your hand.
Okay.
And I'll hold Vardgeese's hand.
I will look at Vasily like a jerk.
Vasily has just like walked off to go walk next to Opal.
Well, what are you looking for?
I'm not sure. I haven't been shopping in a very, 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 very long time. So uncertain. Something that's interesting, I think.
I mean, so you don't even need like ingredients for things or compounds for your science?
No, I kind of am a bit of a scavenger in the way that I do my science. I just kind of work with what I find. So there's nothing that comes to mind.
No, that's very admirable. Zero waste science, absolutely. Well, I'm off in search of powdered things, so you are welcome to come to the barrels. And Opal looks over her shoulder. Slip your hands into them. The barrels.
But Vasily's a little confused by that, kind of looks around and is like, okay, I'll go.
Vasily, as you start to follow Opal towards the barrels, you feel these sharp fingers latch around your elbow. Mother! Are we going to the sweets?
She kind of bristles like a Miyazaki character, just like, whoa.
Miyazaki shiver.
Yeah. Just like, actually, I'm hanging out with Opal, who I assume you know.
Hello, Opal.
Hello, Nicodemus.
We're
Good to
not.
see you. Oh, excuse me.
Oh, no, you go ahead.
It was good to see you as always. I'm glad I haven't seen you on my table.
Vasily, you see Nicodemus's feathers ruffle and stand straight up, and he'll. Father gave me money. I will find the sweets. I'll bring you some. And he very quickly, stalks away.
Who is? Do you? She looks over at Opal. Do you know who Father is?
No. Would I actually? No.
It's likely a reference to Captain Garvin.
Yeah. Opal looks down and looks back up. I believe Nicodemus is referring to the captain. So maybe like a father figure, not necessarily a biological one.
No. I'm not necessarily his biological mother either, so he seems to be picking parents anywhere these days.
Opal has no follow-up.
Yeah, something Fossili's never cared about until just this moment. Enon, as everybody scatters onto the villa, what is Enon doing aboard the ship?
Oh, I didn't have some things to check out.
Enlighten me.
And it's here for a reason, of course, just like everybody else. So, what percentage of the crew's gone to the market? I assume some of the sailors are left, of course, and maybe some of the sea dogs, but
I would say probably a third. Everybody else is either about their shifts or, like the captain, holed up in their bunks.
Well, we'll avoid the bunks, of course.
Yeah, there aren't too many that are actually wandering around.
Okay. Let's have a look in the infirmary. Let's see what Opal's been working on.
Gasp.
All right. What are you looking for in the infirmary?
It's a good question. Well, there are surgical supplies, first aid supplies, healing items. That's not of interest. But is there any evidence of maybe patients who were worked on but aren't here anymore?
So you're looking for perhaps medical logs?
Yeah, records, notes, charts.
Yeah, give me, what would you like to use to look for these things?
I think investigation, actually medicine, I think.
Okay,
Maybe.
to make sure that you know what you're looking at when you find it?
Yeah, there's a lot of extraneous stuff down here that probably doesn't have anything to do with what I'm interested in, and I don't want to waste time. They could come back any moment.
Absolutely. Go ahead and give me an investigation roll. Just 1 second.
So 14.
14's enough to tell you see some locked cabinets. You can see a standard table where some charts are laid out, but a lot of it's in code. Perhaps something that only she understands. Lots of references to old mythology, lots of what looks like algebraic equations that have made up some manner of code. It's difficult to read, but they don't look like medical charts.
Do they look like navigation charts, like Peregrine might have, the navigator? Or
no, it looks more like a personal journal.
Okay, but I can't read it, and the language isn't familiar to me.
It's some manner of code. You would have to decipher it.
Some sort of personal shorthand. It figures. Those locked cabinets, are they really locked, or are they just sort of locked?
Would you like to check and see?
I'll give them a firm tug.
Okay. Yeah, the locks on them seem to hold fairly fast. You would need to pick them or break them.
Not sure what kind of time I have here. I'll just note that they're here. We'll get back to those a little later. I want to make sure that I try to make it look like I didn't disturb anything, but I wonder if I really didn't pay too much attention to where everything was exactly. Some of the charts might not be placed exactly where they were.
Would you like to give me either a perception, sleight of hand, or insight check?
I would love to. Let's do insight. That might actually work.
Just to sort of remember how it was whenever you got here and get as close to possible.
That's a 17. Not bad.
It's pretty good. Whenever she gets back, I'll have her roll an insight to see if anybody was here.
Duly noted.
All right, Constantine.
Yes. So are we like, so the bazaar is made of like boats that are kind of like interconnected, correct?
Boats, skiffs, several of them would resemble what we consider to be riverboats, with rafts or rope bridges across them, gangplanks. There are pathways, but everything is rather maze-like. Some people are selling directly from canoes and kayaks and small skiffs. Others have entire what could only be described as yachts.
Interesting. I want to grab Mercy to come shop with me, and I'm going to approach her, and I don't think I noticed that she's holding Vargas's hand. But I would like to link my arm with Mercy and see if she would like to come with me.
Oh, hello, Constantina. You've been so busy, working very hard. I saw you climbing. It was very impressive.
Did I do good? Because it was kind of scary.
I think so. I think you're good at things.
Are you feeling better? I'm sorry I didn't check on you. I try to be useful when it's better than being idle. And I don't know, I just feel like I always have to be working on something.
I like that you always want to help people. I think that is an admirable quality. I wasn't feeling well, and I thought maybe I would be feeling sick for a while, but I think I'm feeling better.
Oh, well, I'm glad you were feeling better.
Thank you. And I just let go of Vargas's hand, and I cling to Constantina's arm.
I was gonna say, I would like to think that, while they're talking, you're just, swinging Vargas's hand and I'm
I'm, just gesturing, but I still have Vargas's hand held.
Am I holding your gauntleted hand, or do you have gauntlets on both hands?
I have a gauntlet on my left hand. I was imagining I was holding with my right, I don't know why, but with, my proper non-gauntleted hand.
Okay, because I always imagine that, you're just very strong in general with the gauntlet hand, that you're, swinging Vargas around in the back, and he's, dragging.
I take everything back. That is what's happening.
Yeah, you're loud. You're just can you not? And yeah, it's great.
Well, I would like to go shopping. I want to buy some flowers.
Flowers.
I heard someone talk about candy. Oh, should we invite Nicodemus to come with us? I thought he was talking about candy.
He was Nicodemus. I must admit, he makes me a little bit nervous, just because everyone else who calls Vasily Masar has tried to kill me.
Well, that's fair. I mean, he seems nice, but you're
maybe too
right.
Nice, or not. I mean, I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I try to give people the benefit of the doubt, and I don't really have a reason to not trust him, but I think maybe it's better to be smarter, so maybe you and I will just go off on our own. Unless Vargas wants to come. Vargas, do you want to go buy some candy?
Yes.
Flowers?
Yes, Vargas, do you want to come with me and Constantina? And now Mercy's winking at Vargas.
Vargas, a young woman in a fitted bodice, has been trying to get you to pay for these syrup-soaked sort of fried dough balls for this entire conversation.
I am ignoring Constantina and in Mercy. I'm sorry. They can what? You want to go where? I don't. I have to look at this romance novel woman. I'm sorry.
I assure you, my lord, they are the sweetest things that has ever been in your mouth.
I think Vargas is busy, so why don't I continue?
Mercy giggles and walks off with you.
I want to be very debonair and be oh, they're probably not as sweet as you. And then I lean over and ask her if there's any weird shit in them. We all remember the opium den. We know who Vargas is.
She sort of gives you a sly side eye, and she says, "It's extra if you need that."
How much extra?
2 silver.
I have that, so I'm going to give her 2 silver.
Vargas!
Have an acid trip.
Yeah. When you give her 2 silver, she just palms it and it just disappears down her puffy sleeves. She takes an eyedropper out of her pouch and just on 2 of them and hands the plate to you.
I take the 2, and I this could be poison. I don't care, and I will eat them both at the same time.
Okay, give me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, here we go. Okay, here we go. Constitution saving throw. Okay. It's a 2. I'm sorry. Technically, it's a 4. That doesn't help.
I'll get back to you.
Opal feels a gust of wind.
Just like someone's high. I smell drugs. Don't do drugs, chat. Opal, what manner of barrels are you looking for?
She's looking for powdered silver and powdered gold.
So Marius has the skiff for you.
All right, then Opal will wander that way, or go directly. Not not a meandering type. So
yeah, absolutely. It's just like
cutting through is almost like dancing the way she's able to just cut through the crowd.
Absolutely. Vasily, do you stay with Opal?
Oh yeah, she is trying to follow, and she's just like awkwardly trying not to touch anybody and like walk around people and like
it's pretty difficult. Yeah, there are a lot of people in this marketplace, and as you approach Marius's skiff, there is a crudely painted skin sign, sort of just a scraped skin leather sign with gemstones on it. And you can see that he's got all manner of gemstones laid out, but also barrels and sacks of powdered diamonds, crystals, all manner of alchemical components.
Excellent. Opal leans forward and says, pulls out slowly takes off the yellow glove. May I just kind of does like a motion like in the barrel.
Marius is a young Vistani, and he has features fairly similar to yours. A very medium olive toned skin, almond eyes, finely plucked brows, and he lounges on his cushions and, my dear, we have scales.
It's not I trust you. I just like to know the quality, and there's only one way for me to find out. Skin contact.
All right, well, if you get any sweat in there, you pay for the bag.
Opal, wants to maintain not a good reputation, but well, in case they meet again. So she just dips like 2 fingers in the silver and quickly draws them out and goes, I will take how much for a pound?
His eyes widen a little at that pound. He kind of looks you up and down.
I'm sorry. Is this the metric system that you're wanting?
It's a lot of silver.
I plan on traveling for a long time.
3 gold.
All right, Opal reaches through her belt of many gloves and pulls out 3 gold and hands them to him.
He almost seems surprised that you agreed, but he does take the gold as quickly as it falls into his hands.
Opal doesn't have time for haggling, so.
Yeah, he just sort of like makes a face like, okay. If you want, we've got powdered diamond, emerald.
Just the silver today, thank you.
Perhaps a necklace for your wife?
Oh, I don't have a wife. Opal kind of looks around. What have you heard?
Can you just roll me a d20 real quick?
My God, I haven't rolled.
Yeah, just Just roll me d20.
You want me to add anything to it or just leave it?
No.
Oh, cool. 11.
Yeah, I'm just estimating how creeped out he is right now. Yeah, he's just sits there. He's like, all sorts come to the market. And he sort of does a little, with his hand, a little wave motion to wave you away, and goes back to puffing on a little hornpipe.
Opal just kind of holds up the bag and just like, thank you. And walks towards the ship that's full of all the candy. She wanted to buy. Can she guess what Mercy likes candy-wise?
I'll let you have an insight check and let Lisa set the DC.
0. No.
Well, I got a 19 because I'm pretty good insight. So
it beats
So,
it.
what's her favorite candy?
Mercy likes vanilla peppermints.
I'm sure that it came up when she was deathly ill.
Yeah. So the infirmary was no doubt lacking that off needed medicine. So Opal walks over to someone that seems to have a lot of striped hard candies. Vanilla peppermint. Is that a thing you have here?
Vasily, you know that vanilla peppermint is Mercy's very favorite. It's interesting that it's just a coincidence, probably.
Well, Vasily like stumbles through the crowd and like super out of breath. Like she's been trying to keep up with Opal this whole time. And she was like interested in that store for a little bit. And then she was like, oh, wait, you're leaving. Okay. And just kind of comes through and is like, ugh. And here's that.
I didn't realize you were with me.
Why are you getting vanilla peppermints?
No, because someone in the infirmary recently needed them.
If you're talking about
directly in the eyes.
If you're talking about Mercy, that's she hates vanilla peppermints.
Well, they could always be used for Nicodemus.
That's true, but if you want to get something for Mercy, I would recommend like a black licorice, something like that.
Could Opal do an insight check on this?
Sure.
Yeah.
Kayla, set the DC.
I feel like I need to roll to do that because if it were Vasily, she'd be like, 29. Like, so can we do like a contested roll to be fair?
Yes, we can absolutely do a contested roll.
Should I do what should I add to it? Deception, I guess.
Deception.
Yeah.
Versus
Is
insight.
there not a jerk check here? I thought we had it. Okay.
All right.
They're not incredibly jealous best friend check.
I got 16 plus 3, so 19.
I got a 21, so.
I met my match.
It's true. It's almost like insight is what? Wisdom?
Wow, called out. Ouch.
It's the cleric. I mean, it's kind of.
All right, here we go.
It's rough, buddy. Vargas, you got a 4?
Yes, I did. I'm ready to see Jesus, Auntie. Take us into the next song.
It's not,
Don't you lie to me.
it's not poison.
I'm gonna wish it is, though, aren't I?
You're absolutely gonna wish it is. Now, these have been laced with what some people would call finger stones, but it's a distillation of carrion crawler mucus.
Ew.
For the next 6 hours, one of your major extremities will be paralyzed at a time.
Amazing. Cool. Is there, like, do I get a pleasant sensation? Like when your foot falls asleep and then you try and walk on it and you're like...
It's not pins and needles. We'll say it's euphoric. That it feel weightless.
Cool. Tight.
Almost as though it's floating. So would you like to pick which one falls asleep first, or would you like me to?
I will let you, because we all know this wasn't any like pure shit. This was like cut with baby formula. So whatever you can fit. Yeah.
Left leg.
Left leg?
Left leg.
Goodbye.
Your left
I
leg.
fell flat on my face. I deserve this.
And
It's called hubris.
I will give you one more shot to investigate something before the rest of the crew starts to come back.
Mm-hmm. And did you, I think we said that Brummett
Went on
first
to,
mate.
He went on to the marketplace.
Then his cabin is fair game, right?
It is fair game.
There's a
typical lock on the cabin, but that's up to you if you think it's not super difficult to pick.
I think we'll risk it.
Go for it. Let me see a sleight of hand. Let me know if you get less than 10.
Okay. +4. Okay. 17 again.
Nice. Yeah. How do you keep these tools? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. How do you get in?
I'll take the lockpicks out of my belt and pick the lock as quickly as I can. And then open the door and enter. Shut the door behind me and have a quick look around.
Now, the first mate cabin is a single bunk cabin. It has a small desk not too dissimilar to a student's desk, and there's a footlocker at the end of the bed.
No other books or papers or things like that around?
Brummett doesn't seem to keep a lot of books. He's not terribly intellectual.
Not even sure he can read, frankly, but let's find out.
It would absolutely surprise you.
Let's check under the mattress of his bunk.
Absolutely. Would you like to roll investigation?
12.
12, you're seeing a lot of mattress. Yeah.
Yeah, just a mattress. Wow.
Yeah.
I knew this guy was boring, but
12 is enough to, when you pick up the mattress, unfortunately 12 was not enough to notice that there is a hole that was cut into the bottom of the mattress, into the straw mattress. Your hands go into something a little dry and dense. It smells terrible.
What is this?
If you had to guess, you'd say that somebody has played a prank on the first mate by cutting a hole in his mattress and stuffing it.
Well, he had it coming. So
just wipe your hands off on the bed.
Yeah. Not time for this. All right. Foot locker. Locked? Open?
Not locked.
Bingo. All right. Let's open it.
What are you looking for in particular?
Well, first mate's in charge of everything. So if he doesn't have any records of passengers, I'd be very surprised. But the absence of those records would also tell me something. So I'm looking for a passenger list or a manifest or something that shows, who's taken passage, paid for it, who's left the boat in the recent past few months.
As you start to go through this footlocker, which is open, so I will not make you roll for this, you start to go through it and you notice that there's parchment in here, but no manifest. Now, whenever this new crew was coming aboard, Nicodemus had taken most of their names and signatures down. But Brummett had access to the passenger slips. So the fact that they are not in here suggests that perhaps they are in the captain's quarters. You haven't seen Captain Garvin in some time, not since he hired you. Why doesn't Brummett have those lists?
God, they're not here.
When you are looking at this parchment, though, you notice something else strange. There's no change of clothing. There's no personal effects.
Have I ever seen Brummett change clothes? Or does he wear the same thing every day? Because
He wears the same thing. It's remarkably clean, but there's nothing here that speaks of Brummett, which is strange because he's been the first mate for as long as you can remember.
Where has he been spending his nights?
Where has he been spending?
Okay.
Indeed. As you look at this bed, you notice, you think about it, you think about this hole in this mattress, the dry that was in it, the bed that is completely made, the desk that has no books, no papers, the parchment that is in this footlocker. As you turn it over in your hand, all you see are these charcoal scribbles on them. Who knows? Perhaps he was trying to learn how to write.
Wow, does anybody actually live in here? This is very strange. All right, time to go. I'll try to put everything back in order as well as I can.
Go ahead. And, you can do sleight of hand, perception, insight.
I'll try sleight of hand.
Okay.
Okay, 14.
That's good. You can lock the door behind you when you leave.
I will do just that.
Constantina. Now, Constantina, you and Mercy, you had wandered off to do your own shopping, didn't you?
We did.
Mm-hmm. And it is you two who run into Nicodemus. And Nicodemus at first looks a little surprised, but then very excited, as though he had been given a task, forgot to do it, but lucked into it. Rather like a small child. And he points you to the people beside him.
Hello, please don't kill me.
No, the father asked me to get the passengers, and then I found them, and I'm not sure what to do with them. Do you know?
What? Father?
What?
Who's your father? You said father? Does Vasily have like a secret someone that we don't know about?
Oh no, Vasily does have lots of secrets. We just kind of stare at Nicodemus.
Nicodemus has a very similar face to the one that he had when you first met him, which is want to talk about everything, but maybe I shouldn't. I don't know. Mother would be mad at me if I said something. But Mother's not here, and she wouldn't get sweets with me. I think I'm cross with her.
We got some sweets.
Do you want some candy? I heard you talk about candy
I got
earlier.
vanilla peppermints.
And some chocolate.
Oh, I'm more of a black licorice type.
I got some black licorice for Vasily.
Mother loves
and a motorcycle.
and a candy motorcycle.
All of you are terrible parents.
I will say that the three with him have been watching this entire exchange. Now, there's an old woman, Vistana, and a young man, perhaps early 20s, late teens, and a younger woman around Mercy's age. And she has been peering at you, Mercy.
I kind of touch my horn self-consciously.
Mercy Albrecht.
What? Do I recognize this person?
You do after a moment. What does Ingrid Wagner look like?
Oh, Ingrid Wagner is also a tiefling. She has red-toned skin, and like black hair that's like braided and kind of like the braids are like twirled around on her head.
Yep. Now you notice her look is more severe than it was perhaps when you were sorority sisters. And she isn't wearing, of course, the uniform for your academy days, but she still has that sort of haughty tilt to her chin that always gets under your nerves.
And I kind of start and I let go of Constantina's hand and I'm like trying to like, I don't know, unwrinkle my clothes if I think they're wrinkly. And like fix my hair and what are you doing here?
Merci,
So far from
Albrecht.
Darkon.
I'm surprised they ever let you away from the mainland.
Oh. Hello.
We're always so fragile. She was always so fragile.
Oh, you're so sweet.
Mercy, who is this? Is this a friend?
This is Ingrid, from the academy in Darkon. She was the president of the sororities that I was in.
And valedictorian.
And valedictorian.
That's it's nice to meet you, Ingrid.
She's very, she's always been so smart and such a good leader and so pretty. And Mercy is like shrinking behind Constantina.
I'm going to put my arm around Mercy. Like,
Mercy, are you the one who is working on the vessel? Will you be handling my bags?
Oh no, I'm Seek.
Oh, you then. And she starts handing her luggage off to you, Constantina.
I will take it with dignity. I will take those for you. Oh, they're a little heavy. I'm sorry. You've been carrying these around all day. Anything else I can carry for you?
She sort of straightens her wrist gloves and... No, I suppose that would be all this hour. I expect dinner by 9. And she sort of tosses her head and marches past you towards the boat.
I'm going to put her luggage down.
The older woman and the younger man, both Vistana, sort of eye you and then eye her.
Oh, hello, I'm Constantina. And I hold up the hand.
The older woman looks at the two of you and then looks at Nicodemus. I am Vincenzia. This is my son, Stefano. Stefano, will you please help with the ladies? And her son gives a sort of cheeky grin and picks up both bags and drops them over the side of the gangplank. Water.
I wink at him. Like, solidarity.
Oh no, they will get wet.
That's okay, we can get them later.
A most unfortunate accident.
They're sinking so.
Perhaps too many useless things in them. Nothing could be done. Such a pity.
Mercy smiles a tiny bit.
In our last moments at the market, what does everybody do?
I would like to, as I'm, was foiled by Opal, I just want to kind of wander my way back. And on my way back, just like almost trip over Vargas. He's still face planted on the ground, and I just kind of look down at him and kind of like nudge him with my foot.
Vargas, we'll say it's been an hour. Right arm.
Perfect. Beautiful. I attempt to push myself up with my right arm. It does not work. And so I kind of like roll over onto my side, drooling a little bit. And I reach out my hand that doesn't work to Vasily and end up just like kind of like dragging it down her front and like, my friend, help.
Okay, come on. And she kind of kneels down and slings one of his arms over her and tries to help him up and go back.
All right.
And Opal would like to find Mercy.
Mm-hmm.
Mercy sees Opal approaching and she kind of like shies away, still feeling kind of embarrassed.
Opal Opal extends a green gloved hand to Mercy.
Because they're green now.
Do you mind taking my hand? I feel like I'm weighed down with my purchases.
What? You want to hold my hand now?
Yes.
Mercy wistfully prestidigitates your hand and then holds it.
Okay.
Yeah.
A very smart always clean something first. Yes.
I think so too.
And they walk over the gangplank together.
Yeah. Constantina, as you start to approach the ship, Stefano sort of trails two fingers on the outside of your elbow and looks towards you. Fire and fortitude, sister. And he smiles and walks up the gangplank alone with his mother.
I do what I just did and squeal a little bit. And then I compose myself and I follow onto the boat.
Okay. And then where are you when everybody comes back to the boat?
If it's time for the passengers and the crew to return, it's better to be about business. So I'm getting ready for the night watch, which means inspecting the hatches, making sure that things are where they're supposed to be. And are we taking on more passengers?
You are. You're taking on 3 more passengers. And you see,
well.
as these passengers start coming aboard, Brummett has parchment with him and has them signing their names. When they finish signing...
Where does that parchment go when he is done with it?
When they finish signing, you see him roll it up and sort of set it into a satchel on his side. Opal, the sun is set and the moon is beginning to peek between the clouds, and it's going to be a beautiful night.
It is. Opal pulls from her back pocket a bag of candy and puts it into Mercy's hand as she withdraws her own. A gift. I believe this is right.
Oh, thank you. I love vanilla peppermints. I didn't get it. And she just drops the bag she bought overboard. I didn't get any. And oh, thank you. And she takes one and kind of unwraps it and stares into your eyes and pops a vanilla peppermint in her mouth.
But I must go perform the rituals for the corpse. And Opal...
Rituals? We say corpse. This is so romantic. I could join you.
Possibly. Maybe after dinner we could reconvene. I must consult my deity. I usually am pretty private. And Opal's starting to look a little nervous at this point. So
Mercy takes her dagger with the bell shaped like a skull out and holds it to her heart. And says,
No sacrifices. Please, thank you.
Oh, I mean, you already have one, and so I just thought, but maybe it's too soon, like hand holding before. Then you're ready, and she puts the dagger back on her belt.
Opal sort of fingers the cameo on her neck and smiles and says, "I will see you soon," and kind of does a nod and bow, and then walks back to the infirmary.
As Opal parts from you, the clouds sort of shift and the moonlight dims and disappears under this veil of darkness on the top deck. And you can hear the slightest ring of the bell of your dagger in your back pocket.
Should have asked you what that meant when I had the chance.
I know. Unfortunate. Who is working tonight?
I would like to volunteer, in part because I'm curious what phase the moon is in right now.
Oh.
The moon is in a waxing crescent.
Okay. All right. Well, I would like to hang out on the deck and try to be useful, keep watch, do something.
Anyone else?
I think Vasily would be up on the deck. She's had a bad day, and she's just kind of hanging out near the side, looking out.
I don't think Vargas should be anywhere near where he could fall off the boat, so
No,
I will
probably
stay
sleep
in
it
my
off.
room.
Mercy will be on the deck after Opal parts, and we'll find Vasily so she can give her the licorice she bought for her.
Aw, it's really sweet.
And Opal will be performing certain ceremonies on the night of the waxing moon that are very important.
What about you, Enon?
Find where Constantina went. She promised us a song. I'll seek her out. Where are you, Constantina?
I'm on the deck because I need to talk to Vasily.
Did you finish your shopping?
I did. I bought lots of candy. I like to think that I bought, by the way, I'd like to think that I bought Mercy's candy. So when she dumped hers in the water, that was partially a gift from Constantina.
Perfect.
I don't think Constantina does not know that, but yeah, because I also bought myself some candy.
We've just changed the watch over. You, I believe, volunteered to perform.
Sure.
Maybe something pleasant for such a beautiful evening. The crew would enjoy it.
I would be glad to. Would you prefer me to go below deck? Is that where everyone convenes, or would you rather me stay up here?
No, here, where everyone can hear you.
Okay, sure. Do you want to bring anyone else, and then we have a little audience, and I can, like, stand on some of the crates, and we can make like a stage? And I start moving crates around.
Knock yourself out.
Constantina is going to perform. Vasily, we should help. And I start moving crates too.
Oh, Vasily just kind of stays where she is and eats some of the licorice quietly.
I look for Vasily and I cast message on Vasily. I need to talk to you because you owe me something. So don't think that you can hide from me on the ship.
Vasily kind of looks very shocked and shakes her head and just keeps eating licorice and shrugs.
I know you heard me.
Okay, fine. When do you want to talk?
After my show.
Fine.
I know you will enjoy because you will look like you're enjoying it.
No, I'm not. She just keeps eating.
All right, well, I will lead a rousing performance on the high seas, and I'll play jaunty tunes on my violin.
Perfect.
I clap.
And then, do you stay for the performance?
I will stay for the start of it. Have the new passengers joined us? Or are they below deck in their quarters?
They go below deck. Now, the two Vistana, they stay on deck. They love a rousing party. Ingrid has gone below deck. She retired immediately to her bunk. She seemed very upset that her bags had not made it onto the ship.
So sad.
It's tragic, really.
Opal contacted her to let her know that there are some clothes left behind that you are welcome to wear.
You have not heard from her since you contacted that.
Maybe it's my doctor's handwriting, cleric's handwriting.
So, and then do you stay for the beginning? Do you go to bed or?
I want to stay for the beginning. I want to see if she sings any better than she climbs.
Okay.
But after a couple of songs, I'll retire for the night.
Okay. Vargas. Did you go to bed, Vargas? Vargas, you can hear the thump of feet on the top deck, and you can hear that rousing reel that Constantina plays so well on that violin.
I hate it. I just want to sleep this off.
And you're laying in that bunk and you can feel like your stomach is floating. You feel weightless, euphoric, boundless, like you're flying out of your skin. And you can hear the sort of a scratch, scratch on the wooden door of your cabin. And you can feel Claudia's arms around your shoulders. She holds you so tight and she shakes against you and she says, "Don't open that door." And that's where we'll end for tonight.
Oh no. Oh.
Who's ready for outros?
Yeah.
So for outros, we go in reverse order. We're going to start with Jason.
Hey, I'm Jason Carl, and I was playing Enon, the Halfling Monk. You can find me all over the internet at Vampires in Vino, and you can find me Friday nights at 8 o'clock on LA by Night on Geek and Sundry.
All right, Jen.
Hi, my name is Jen Vaughn, and I was playing the half-elk cleric Opal Fan. You can find me online at Thegenya, Thejenya, or you can listen to my sonorous tones when I play my own tiefling on the family-friendly podcast D20 Dames.
All right, Hadil.
It's me, your pal, Deal. You can find me online as Twittysuch, TWITTYSUCH. I am mostly active on Instagram, and I was told that if I don't start doing sewing streams soon, that someone would cyberbully me, so that may be coming, and that's twitch.tv/.
It's me.
The call was coming from inside the house, but I will get a schedule ready. I'm in the process of moving house, so that's why I'm sitting on my floor.
Okay. Ashley.
Hello, I'm Ashley Warren, and I am a writer and the director of the RPG Writer Workshop and the producer of the Uncaged Anthology, which last time we did our show, I only had, I think, just one book to show, and now I have 2 pretty books to show. So you can get volumes 1 and 2 of Uncaged, which several of our cast members here have helped out with. And you can get those on Dungeon Masters Guild, dmsguild.com. And you can find all my projects at ashleywarrenwrites.com. And I'm on Twitter at ashley_Warren.
Okay. Kayla?
Hi, I'm Kayla Klein, and you can find me on the internet at KAYNCLI. And I draw a lot of stuff. You can see it all on Twitter. I'm working on my first DM's Guild release currently, so that'll be soon. It'll be a nice art pack, very 80s themed. I'm very excited about it. And yeah, just follow me on Twitter to keep up with all the crazy stuff I do. It's great.
Ms. Lisa.
I am Lisa Penrose. I do a bunch of D&D things. I'm the community manager for the D&D Adventurers League, Dungeon Masters Guild, and social media manager for Dungeons & Dragons itself. I also have a podcast called Behold Her Podcast, which is all about women and non-binary folks and tabletop RPGs. The latest episode is about decolonizing Dungeons & Dragons, so look that up. Speaking of podcasts, if you're enjoying Tales from the Mists, we are also in podcast form. We're up to, I believe, episode 8 in season 1, so it's great for catching up. Edited by Celeste Konowich, who has been a guest on this show as well. So check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, talesfromthemist.com/listen for our podcasts. And then I also wanted to shout out a few events we have coming up. If you're going to GameholeCon later this year for Halloween, all the Mistwalkers will be there. We have a whole bunch of events that we're doing. We're running games, Ashley's running workshops, Kayla is drawing your characters for you. So if you go to talesfromthemist.com and check out our blog, there's a list to all of our various events. Event registration opens tomorrow. I believe at like 10 a.m. or noon or sometime tomorrow. So go check out our events and make sure you register, snag a seat. We're also doing a live show on Halloween. Very excited. And for PAX West coming up at the end of the month, on the Monday of PAX West, we are doing a panel about reinventing Ravenloft, talking about how we adjusted this classic setting for like our own show, and talking about how Tales from the Mist happened. So check that out too. Also at Miss Tales D&D on Twitter, and a link to Discord, and to just follow us, go to the website, do the thing.
Yeah. Well, Jack's been putting all those links in, and it's been great.
Oh, Jack, my hero. Thank you.
Yeah, bless. We won't kick you in a pit today.
Today.
Yeah, it's
Congratulations.
It's TK. I write spooky stories on the internet, and if you like reading spooky stories and not paying for them because I'm lazy, you can read them on my website, tkjwrites.com. I'm never going to update it. I'm lazy. Or you can follow me on Twitter, TK Joins the Fray. I'm usually here playing Dungeons and Dragons, or not. I guess here watching Dungeons and Dragons. I'm 32 and I don't have a lot going on in my life right now. Anyway, we love you. Thank you for coming to see us for our premiere. We will see you next week, and we'll see you in the mists.
Sleep well, Mistwalkers. Bye.
Bye.